everyone. Welcome to our Unplugged podcast. This is a companion podcast to our sermon series called The Return. And listen, I'm in the host seat once again. I got my man Isaias with me.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
I'm back.
He's a youth director of this amazing church that we have. And so he taught this past Sunday.
I did.
And so we wanted to hear more from him and more of what the Lord revealed to him and just to learn just more from what the Lord has imparted to you as you prepared for this sermon. So real quick, before we get into your sermon,
Okay, let me relax.
and your teeth. Well, first of all, let me back up. Let me pause.
Let me relax.
Sometimes we gotta slow down a little bit. Let me slow down. So we're both wearing blue. Okay, understand this was not planned. But what I am tempted to do.
Oh boy.
Is to show y'all why this is called the Unplugged podcast. You see my man, how he got the buttons open?
No.
I'm tempted.
And because
Hey man, no, you do you. You do you. You do you. I'm naturally buttoned up. But I just want to give the people a taste of why it's called Unplugged.
I don't think anybody wants to taste of that.
Because I wouldn't do this on a Sunday.
It's true.
But I can do it here.
It's true.
So listen, let me frame it up. So we've been in this series called The Return, returning to Christ's vision for his church. And so we're taking a turn in the series. Yeah. We've kind of framed like Jesus, his church, his vision. Yeah. We talked about the reason why we need to return is because we've drifted. We've talked about this drift. And so we're taking a turn because now we're looking at, all right, what does a return look like?
Absolutely.
And so in this series, this entire time, what I've been doing is I've asked the church to be in prayer about some things related to generosity.
Yeah.
And that's because if you want to know where someone's heart is, it's most clearly seen in their generosity and how they spend their money. And so what the reason we have been asking people to pray about it is because when we got to this point where we are now, as relates to generosity, we wanted it to come from the right place. Yeah. And so we approached it with prayer so that people would understand our posture is really one of faithfulness.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't want my motive to give or to be generous to be based in duty and obligation. Right. I don't want my motive to give to be based out of shame and me not doing enough.
Absolutely.
I don't want someone's desire to give to be because they feel the weight and the need of what's going on in the church.
Right.
The hope is that someone's response to generosity would be from a place of faithfulness.
Absolutely.
What is the Lord asking you to do? What is the Lord calling you to do? Yeah. And then if you've been faithful, then it's like, all right, I'm good.
That's good.
But if you're not being faithful, if you're not being generous to the degree that the Lord wants you to, then there may be an invitation. Yeah. And so we just wanted to lay the proper foundation as it relates to generosity so that when we came to this time, that it would be operating from the right place. Right. So real quick, so I asked some questions to folks during the sermon. And so I want to read these questions. So here are the questions we asked. Let me get together. Questions were, how have I been stewarding what God has entrusted to me? Yep. What do my spending habits reveal about my priorities and my affections? Mm-hmm. And then in what ways does my giving reflect trust in Jesus and a sacrificial generosity? That's good. We lay that out. We ask people to pray about that and what the Lord would say about that in those areas. And so then you have the opportunity to teach the first message related to generosity. More specifically, this first question, how have I been stewarding what God has entrusted to me? Right. Out of Matthew 25, right? So, okay. Absolutely. So then the beauty of this time is, as a communicator, what we experience is that there's always way more stuff. Right? Listen to me. you dive into scripture.
Yeah.
You understand the depth of the God's word.
Yes.
There's always so much more that you want to cover.
Yeah.
That you can't cover.
Yeah.
And so you gotta be disciplined as far as what that is. And so the beauty of this time and this podcast that we have going on, because we think it's significant and relevant, you have an opportunity to share what those things were that you wanted to talk about, but you didn't necessarily have the time to.
That's good.
So so help us out. Let us into the brilliance of Isaias.
Okay.
Talk to us, man. What were you sensing? What were you feeling? What did you want to say that you couldn't say? Just give us some glimpse into like what preparation was like for you for this teach.
I mean, thank you again for letting me be here twice.
Absolutely.
It's
well, you hosted before.
I did host,
but so now you in the hot seat.
Now I'm in the hot seat, and these questions are coming full throttle.
Absolutely.
But as I was thinking about it, as I was preparing and processing what it was looking like for me to be in this passage of scripture in Matthew, there was so much to unpack. And I feel like, what the Lord was doing was he was trying to go in deeper, one personally, but also into the hearts of his people. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes we try to treat a symptom when there is a deep-rooted issue.
Okay.
And so for me, I believe the Lord was trying to help me articulate what it is that he wanted me to get to the root of, as it related to just what we have been entrusted to steward.
Yeah.
And, as I'm reading through the passage of Matthew, 25, there's 3 other chapters right after, right? Mm-hmm. But these 3 other chapters are getting into his crucifixion. It's getting into his resurrection, right? It's getting into his call to action, right? To go and make disciples. But as I'm reading, Matthew 25, I'm led to this revelation. And you and I had a conversation about it, but the reality of what Jesus was talking about to his disciples and the timeline of when he was talking about it is incredibly important to pay attention to, right? This wasn't just something that he was just saying on a whim, right? It wasn't just another lesson, but this was actually rooted in something that he wanted us to have real full scope and understanding on as it relates to what he wanted us as his people to be, right? And what he wanted us to do.
Yep.
We learned that this conversation was right before going into the garden, right? And so this reality of there was an urgency behind what Jesus was saying to his disciples and what he was saying to us as his people. These are the things that I want you to understand, right? The parable of the talents was meant for a deepening and an understanding so that we could search ourselves and search where we actually do feel our dependence lies and where we center ourselves as it relates to the throne. And so that's something I believe I was processing in this moment. Something that I had to take into account, not something that I was able to touch too far on as it relates to giving the sermon. Like you said, being a communicator, I feel like is a lot different. There's a lot of other things that we have to take into account as it relates to speaking the word to God's people. And so there was just a lot of things that I feel like just ruminating on, just letting the Lord continue to move on as it relates to just my life and how he's actually, positioning me in this season, right, to be a greater steward for myself.
Yeah.
So
let me pause you there. So basically what you're saying as it relates to the positioning of this parable, right? And again, I should have mentioned this before. This is the parable of the talents where he gives 3 servants a different number of talents to go increase. Right. So what you're saying is because of the positioning of where this was, it helps you understand the importance of what Jesus was saying.
Yes.
So basically, if I know that my life is about to end, my last words have greater significance and a greater importance.
Absolutely.
And basically Jesus and when the last parables recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, for him to say, all right, the thing that I want you to know before I leave, the thing that you need to get right before this whole thing is about to go down in the garden is for you to be good stewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think so. Here's what I've said in the past about generosity. if we talk about generosity,
Go ahead.
You normally got two kind of folks in the room.
Absolutely.
You got the set of people that are being generous.
Yes.
That may or may not feel hey, I've been generous.
Right.
And I will continue to be.
Right.
Everybody else needs to go carry their weight as well. I'm carrying my weight. You need to go ahead and pick up some of the slack, right?
Where you at?
So you either have that posture,
Yep.
or you got the person in church like, they talking about money. Here we go.
Yep.
Church always talk about money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is, because of this is where it was in Scripture, in the gospel. So we're talking about the appropriateness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of us having a conversation about stewardship.
Yep.
And we see how important it was to Jesus.
Yep.
And so then we see how important it is to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think even if we were to go further,
Yep.
right, into this reality, it's not just correlated to our stewardship as it relates to just everything, everything that we have. It's very apparent in Scripture. Mm-hmm. And it talks about the first fruits, right? It talks about this reality of what we're receiving and what we're giving right out of that, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's a posture, right, of our stewarding our very best, the things that the Lord has blessed us like right then and there with to do with what he wants us to do with his kingdom, right? And that's enhance, that's propel his ministry, which is to reach more and more people, right? It is, and I think, with people who do get maybe offended by people who talk about money when it relates to the church, I think we can miss a key aspect of what the church truly was designed for, right? And this is what, as it relates, you've talked about, in the past, in your past sermons, the vision of the church, right? The reality of the church and what it actually is. And I think oftentimes, due to people's preference, maybe due to people's uncomfortabilities, right, or just maybe a lack of understanding, because this can be a niche topic, right? And so I think just the reality of we really do have to do the inner work, to realize what the Lord is saying to us as it relates to our stewardship. So
can I clarify something?
Go ahead.
Because I talked about the folks that as soon as you talk about money, here they go, right? So let me
let them know.
Let me cover this from all angles.
Yeah.
The reason someone may have that kind of pessimistic view is because of how people have experienced the church.
Absolutely.
In a way where they feel as though they've experienced church in a way to where a church's priorities wasn't in order.
Yes.
Where a church would make it more about money than it would be about the core work of the church, or where people have experienced some level of scandal as relates to finances, right? Yes. So that's what leads people to say that. And I would just say that's part of the drift.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we're saying as a church is that we desire to be as closely aligned to what Jesus originally intended for his church.
Absolutely.
We're saying this is our posture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We're saying this so that we can be held accountable.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? And so in that, if that is our posture, so then at that point, we want to help other people now have the correct posture towards giving, towards finances. Let me go back to something you just said.
Go ahead.
You mentioned first fruits.
Yep.
So first fruits implies giving back something that's not originally yours.
Yep.
So it gets to the aspect of ownership.
Yep, absolutely.
And so then in the parable, it talks about the talents in terms of stewardship. So then if then we are given things to steward, what that implies is that we don't own.
Yep.
And if we're giving our first fruits, we're giving our first fruits back to the one that owns it in the first place. Yeah. So I feel like a big part of what you were saying in your sermon one of your points was the fact that, hey, we are not owners.
Yeah.
And so part of maybe an obstacle, a stumbling block for people to be good stewards.
Absolutely.
Is them first realizing that they're not owners.
Yeah.
What would you say about how, we can have the tendency to automatically posture ourselves as owners? What would you say about like what's underneath that?
Yeah.
What would you say about the why, as far as why we take that posture, which will lead to us being reluctant to give back something because we feel like, oh, it's all ours anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say more about that from your perspective.
No, I mean, and I think that can all be correlated and maybe even dwindled down to this reality that in this culture, right, in this world, we are the people who are working hard, right? We are working and we're earning, right, our wages for what we do, right? And so the reality of this is it's coming to my bank account. It's coming to, it's going towards my bills. It's going to my. And I think with this heart posture, especially for all of us, because we all deal with it. It's not just, just some people are just like, oh, well, I never think about it, right? It's everyone. We are under this impression that everything that comes our way is in fact ours. Mm-hmm. And I think the reality of it being is because, well, I'm the one doing the work. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm the one where the money is going, or I'm the one where the resource has gone to, right? Mm-hmm. Or I'm the one who's doing all of the work to manage where the resource goes, right? Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's hard to, I would say, relinquish our control, right? It talks about this parable. This parable is such a beautiful reminder, right? It talks about the master and the servants, right? It says the master gave the talents according to each servant's, right? Essentially what they could handle, their ability. And so it was in line of saying, yo, he's given you what he knows you can handle. He's given you what he knows you can manage. And in that, but we have to get to the root of it, right? Because at the end, he comes back and he says, okay, and for servants in this time, they managed the master's wealth. And so this reality of saying you have to now give an account for what you did with the master's right giving to you. What did you do with what was given to you? And I think oftentimes we do not look at God as the one who's giving it to us, right? Because we are the ones earning it.
Yeah. So you're saying that what I hear you saying is we have a tendency to put ourselves at the center of the story.
Absolutely.
You mentioned control.
Yes.
So it goes back to something that's kind of foundational, and that is that there's a reality that in this story, in general, life, how we experience the world, it's not about us.
Yeah.
I think that,
absolutely,
we drift towards making it about us.
Yes.
And then we also feel as though we feel we are the source.
Yes. Yeah.
And since we are the source, so then we have the autonomy to then do whatever we want to do. Yeah. But Jesus said before he went to the cross, let me shift your perspective.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about the things you have in a different way.
Yeah.
All that you enjoy has been given to you.
Yes.
So, okay, let me get to the person that, that maybe in life has experienced some struggle, some challenges, and, they have the wherewithal to say, like, I need to get my stuff together.
Sure.
And they say, hey, let me be more serious about my life. Let me get more serious about my career.
Yes.
Let me go back to school.
Yeah.
Let me put in the time. Yep. Let me get some extra letters after my name.
Sure. Yeah.
And that positions me in my field. Yep. And then I get the check that come with it. Yep. And then after all that hard work, I've done all those things. Yep.
Yeah.
I finally get a chance to reap the benefits of all the work that I've put in. Come on, I done made plans for this money before I even cashed the check. And what you're telling me is it even still within all that, it's still not ours.
Still not yours.
I think in that, we overestimate. You know what I'm thinking about?
What you think?
I'm not gonna sing because I cannot sing.
Why not, Doc?
Because I can't.
It's unplugged,
and it's recorded, and it's gonna live on the internet for a really long time to be played over and over. So I'm not.
Somebody
doing it.
wants to hear you.
No, my wife, my kids, please. Even they don't want to hear me. All right, let me get back to what I don't know my train of thought.
Oh my gosh.
So I think the song I'm thinking about is "Great Are You, Lord."
Yeah.
Where when it comes to what we receive from the Lord, it takes it all the way back to it's your breath.
Yeah. Ooh.
In my lungs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So then now everything that I thought I did, that song reminds us like, no, you can, even the breath that you breathe right now.
Absolutely.
Is the Lord sustaining you in your life and carrying you. So then all the things you did to get your degree and do all the things, you weren't able to do that on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, that's what I hear you saying as relates to like the shift in perspective.
Yeah, well, I think it talks and speaks about where our dependency lies, right?
Yeah, dependency, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Where is our dependency? Is our dependency on ourselves? Because if it is rooted in that, then anything that we do, right, is a result of whatever we receive. We get to do whatever we want with it, right? If I'm depending on myself, then I get to call the shots. If I'm depending on myself, then I get to say where this goes and what I get to withhold, right?
Yep.
But I think the reality of the situation is a lot of us, because we assume the title of owner, we are saying we're more dependent on ourselves rather than, like you said, the source. If it is the breath in our lungs that has been given to us as a gift, then the source is not us at all, right? It is the Lord, and is our dependency, right? Is our dependency on Christ being the provider of our lives, right? And in everything that you said, because the reality is, and something I didn't really get to touch on too much is, there might be a question of somebody saying, well, what if I'm not in a good position, right? What if I want to be in a better position? It all can stem down to, well, who are you depending on? Are you depending on yourself to get to that better position, or are you depending on the Lord to meet you and provide for you and care for you? Because it speaks about Matthew saying, don't be anxious about tomorrow, right? And so this reality that we have an opportunity to allow the Lord to clothe us, to feed us, to give us what we need on a day-to-day basis, to propel us into where we're going, whatever he's directing for our lives. There is so much, I think, fear and allowing for the Lord of our lives to take control of our lives.
So that reminds me of, we talked about 1 Samuel 8 when we got into the drift.
Yep.
The people of Israel had a relationship with God, and at the center of that relationship was their dependency upon him.
Yep.
Really for everything. And they got to the point to where they didn't want to depend anymore.
Yep.
And so I think, it's just another connection to our propensity as humans to not want to depend, to be self-sufficient.
Yep.
But I think, and I don't want to get ahead of myself.
What you do?
I don't want to get ahead of myself with what I want to get to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I think about with dependency.
Yeah.
And I said this as it relates to the 1 Samuel chapter 8, when the people of Israel wanted a king.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to depend. One of the things I said when I taught that sermon was, Israel's relationship with God was they experienced a God who initiated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't even be a nation if God didn't initiate
Come
it.
on.
They wouldn't even have had the promised land if the Lord hadn't first said, I'm going to give you a land.
Yep.
And so I think at the core, something that we have to pay attention to
Yep.
in our reluctancy to depend,
Yep.
in our reluctancy to lean into the fact that we're not the owners of anything,
Absolutely,
is the reality of the Lord's desire for us.
Yep. Come on.
So I don't have a problem depending on someone when I understand what that person wants from me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
Because what happened, this is why I don't want to get ahead of myself, but what happened in the parable, right? With the first two servants.
Yep.
They got the talents.
Yep.
They were faithful in doing all they could to grow the talents.
Yep.
And then what he said, all right, you've been faithful with little.
Yep.
I'm going to give you more.
Yeah. Yeah.
The master wanted to give them more.
Come on.
The master wanted to entrust them, right? And I'm a beneficiary.
Yeah. Come on.
Like if he gives me, if he entrusts me with more,
absolutely,
then I get to experience that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so then, and I think that's the thing. It's a trust issue, but we have to cling to the fact that his heart, what he desires to do, what he wants to do, is he wants to give us more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have to show ourselves faithful.
Yes.
So yes. that's what comes to mind when I hear you saying that stuff.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Say more about the expectation of the owner.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to sit here, right, say you had owned something and you said, hey, Isaias, I want you to say it was your car, right?
Yeah.
And you said, hey, Isaias, I want you to sell my car and make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you sell, right, I'll give something back to you,
mm-hmm.
right? Then you leave, and I spend the entire time sitting doing absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You come back, car is not sold. So what do I reap from the expectation of you, right? You had an expectation that I would do the thing that you had asked me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes as an owner, the expectation is more in line with the responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I'm entrusting you, right? This word entrust, right? Mm-hmm. This word stewardship, right? This is really dialed back. It's literally just management. Mm-hmm. How are you managing the things that are being given to you? Mm-hmm. If you as the owner were to trust me with the thing that you are giving me to do something greater with it, right? Because we look at the talents. The one with 5 brought 5 more back. The one with 2 brought 2 more back. So reality is that they did more with what was already given. Mm-hmm. Right? And this is why the master says, enter into the joy of your master, mm-hmm. right? And so I think oftentimes we think that the expectation of the owner is simply to just get rid of it, mm-hmm. or just use it all and don't expect anything in return, mm-hmm. right? But you talk about this reality of the desire of our Father. Mm-hmm. There's a question. Do we really believe that the desire of our Father is for us to essentially just be without and mm-hmm. lack? Mm-hmm. I would argue that is not his desire for our lives. Mm-hmm. I think his desire is rooted in this reality that he wants us to have, like you said, more, mm-hmm. but that requires growth. Mm-hmm. Right? That requires responsibility. That requires stewardship. If you are not willing to do the work as it relates to that expectation, mm-hmm. you might be missing out on what the Lord is desiring for your life. Mm-hmm. But what happens is, what we do is we internalize that and we say, he must not care. Mm-hmm. He must not love me. Mm-hmm. If he were to leave me here. But if we look at the end of that passage, towards the end of the passage, he says, those who have will much more be given. Mm-hmm. And those who have, right, will then lack anything else. Essentially relating it to the reality of what the servant with the one did.
Mm-hmm.
He dug a hole, buried his master's wealth, did nothing with it. Mm-hmm. And then that servant lost his talent, mm-hmm. essentially saying, you did nothing with what I had given you.
Mm-hmm. Because there was an expectation. There was an expectation.
Yes.
Can I tell you what I think about?
Go ahead. You got a lot of things you're thinking about.
No, I'm just saying, man. I'm just trying to keep it real with the folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it real.
Let them know.
When I think about right now, my wife and I rent our home. Mm. We were homeowners. We'll get back to that place. Don't worry about that. The Lord has that in store.
There you go.
But so now we experience our home as renters.
Yeah.
And so then as a renter, I'm keenly aware that this is not our home.
Yeah.
We don't own this home.
Right.
There's
oh boy.
Well, let me just
oh boy.
I don't want to get in trouble with these thoughts enter my brain and I don't want to get in trouble. Let me just say this about my wife.
Paint the picture.
That's why I had to pause.
Oh Lord.
My wife has a vision.
Yeah.
She has vision for our home.
Vision, okay.
And what she was, and what she wants the home to look like. And you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, and as the husband, it's my job to support my wife's vision.
Absolutely.
But, as as I want to be supportive of her vision, I have to be keenly aware that we don't own this house.
Yeah.
And so we don't have the liberty to do all that we want to do with the house.
Yep.
So I'm like, hey, babe, that's great. But that might not be what the owner.
Yes.
We maybe can get permission to paint, and we got to get permission to even paint.
Yes.
But like that wall you want to knock down, no, I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Yep.
Because when my lease is up, I want my deposit.
Come on, talk about it.
Because he has my deposit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we're living in this home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And our furniture's in the home.
Yes.
Right? Like we've decorated.
Yes.
We had decor, right? And so it feels like our home, right? Yeah. I'm excited to go there later on today, as a matter of fact. Yeah. But at the end of the day, every single day, what I am aware of is like, this is not my home.
Yeah.
And I interact with our home every day in a way where I am aware that this is not mine.
Come on.
There's someone on the other end of this thing that has my money and I want it back when this contract ends. This owner has expectations.
Yeah.
And as much as right?
Come on.
So then like we had to think of our lives in the same way.
Come on.
And being keenly aware in every aspect of what we have.
Yes.
That it's not mine.
Yes.
Like my finances aren't mine.
Absolutely.
And you went further. You talked about our talent, like talent in the scripture, but like my talent.
Your talent. Yes.
My my abilities is not my own.
Yes.
My time. Is not my own.
Absolutely.
And so it's a shift.
Yes.
Yes. It's not about me.
Yes.
It's not mine.
Yes.
And then there is an expectation.
Right.
The owner's coming back.
Yes.
And I will have to give an account.
Yes.
Jesus is coming back.
Come on.
Right?
Yes.
This is the end of Jesus' life.
Yes.
You're nearing the end of Jesus' life. Right? He accomplished a lot on the cross, rose, but he's going to come back again.
Yes. Absolutely.
And we will have an opportunity to live a life with him in eternity. Yep. And we will have to be accountable.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I see it, I see it as in being given these talents, and we have it, or our lives, or whatever you want to say. Because we have them, we're under an illusion, or we can be delusional.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I see the owner coming back.
Yep.
As like, okay, wake up call. Okay,
Yeah,
wake up.
absolutely.
This you thought this was not yours.
Yes.
Wake up to the fact that there's an owner.
Yep.
Wake up to the fact that you'll be held accountable.
Yep.
And the thing that I'm thinking about is, this world is not our home.
Yeah. That's good.
This is, I think I mentioned this too. This is like our life on earth is this.
Yep.
We got eternity, right? Eternity. And when I think about Jesus coming back in this time, I think about when he comes back, all of a sudden, we're going to wake up to what's important.
Yep.
We're going to wake up to what was really going on this entire time.
Yeah.
And then things will be revealed.
Yep.
And I think in that moment that what will be in view for us, look at all that I wasted.
Yep.
Look at all that I squandered. Listen, at least the servant in the text.
Yeah.
Hear me. God requires more.
Yes.
But he buried it.
Yeah.
He kept it.
Yep.
I think when Jesus comes back and we have a full view and the right perspective, and when the truth is revealed, all things are revealed.
Yep. Come on.
I think what some of us will see in our lives, not that we kept the same and didn't do nothing with what the Lord gave.
Yep.
I think we're going to see we wasted it.
Yep.
Instead of it being like a zero balance, we're going to have a negative balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Based on what the Lord, right?
Yeah.
If we look at our lives.
Yeah.
So my rant. There's a question after that.
Okay.
So what wisdom then would you have, right? How do we live life in the reality of everything we're talking about? The fact that we're not owners, and the fact that there are expectations. The owner has expectations. The owner is going to come back. We will give an account. What would you say as relates to how we can live our lives in light of these things, so that we could continue to be good stewards?
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
Man, that's a good question. And I think, everything that has already been stated, I think helps us frame that answer, right? We talk about the talents. Right. And you had just mentioned, something that I was trying to communicate was the reality that it's not just our money. Right. It's our actual talent, like our ability, our resources. Right. What can we do with those things? And it's our time as well. But again, like I said, I think oftentimes we try to treat the symptom. We don't get to the root. And if I were to get to the root of why these things happen, ownership, yes. I would even say, at least for me and what I've experienced, it has been rooted in pride.
Okay.
My pride and my ego and my arrogance to the things that I possess keep me from a place in which I am under this acknowledgement that the master is going to come home, right? That he is going to return and he is going to ask an account of all that I've done, as it relates to my money, to my time, and to the resources that I possess. And I think oftentimes, if we're looking at it from that lens, what we have to start realizing, like I said this past Sunday, we are not the owners. Like you said, it is not ours. And we have to be aware of that consistently. You talk about this awareness as it relates to your home. There is a vision that your wife has, but you're keeping in your mind, okay, but is that with the owner, right? Is this in alignment with what the owner will come back to, right? And I think oftentimes we have to think about our lives in that regard. If Jesus were to return right now, could we say we've been in alignment to his expectation and to the responsibility given to us?
That's a good question.
Could we say that?
Yeah.
And that's even a question that I have to ponder. Would I be able to be like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I think for us, we have to, it starts with the reality. Yeah. Whose is it? Right? And who are we dependent on? Mm-hmm. And how are we keeping that frame of mind consistently as we go throughout our life? Mm-hmm. That this is yours, Lord. What do you will for me to do with it? Mm-hmm. What do you want me to do with it?
I think, the thing that came to my mind was leaning into the reality that we have a relationship with God through Jesus.
That's good.
We have a relationship.
Yep.
And me, like hopefully as people are on the journey with Jesus, mm-hmm. We talk about these practices, reading the Bible.
Yeah.
We talk about journaling, worshiping. We talk about prayer.
Yeah.
Hopefully the thing that we could hold on to in a way that we can frame that and think about those moments. Hopefully we can frame those moments as I'm spending time being with the Lord.
Yes.
So it's not me just checking the box and reading scripture.
Yep.
It's not me trying to get that nugget for me to get, for me to get to make it through my week.
Yep.
If we think about it, it's like, hey, I'm being with the Lord in this time.
Yep.
So hopefully you do have a time where you are with the Lord in scripture.
Yeah.
And so then based on what you said, I think something we can add to that is asking that question.
Yeah.
Lord, what would you say about how I'm using this?
Yes.
What would you say about how I'm using my time?
Yeah.
Lord, what would you say about how I'm using my money and my finances?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm leaning into this relationship that I have, then I think that's where that could come in.
Absolutely.
You should have a daily or at least a consistent time with the Lord.
Yeah.
And in that time, would you include this question?
Yeah.
Lord, what would you say about how I'm using with you?
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Thinking about it as a person.
Yes.
Okay. I want to get practical.
Okay.
Even more so. I was practical.
Yeah.
I want to get more so. So here's what we're saying to our church.
Yep.
So with our church, we're asking. We've asked these questions.
Absolutely.
So number one, if you are a part of our church, if you call our church home, let me not even say that. If you benefit from this ministry in any way, which if you I don't know how you can't. Do you have a pulse? Let me check. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get in trouble. If you benefit, if you call it whatever is true for you, then the question is, what does it look like to be a good steward of what you have, and to give financially towards something that you're benefiting from?
Yes.
If you don't give now, would you start?
Yep. It's good.
And then if you are giving, are you giving in proportion to what you're receiving?
Yeah.
Could your response be that is the Lord calling you to increase?
Yeah.
I had a moment this year where I looked at my giving. I had an experience in life with my kids, and I increased my expenditure as relates to my kids without even a thought.
Wow.
I didn't even have a conversation with the wife about
Wow.
it. And I was like, yo, if I can increase something without even thinking about it, I at least gotta, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So there was the moment I was like, I gotta increase my giving.
That's good.
Ain't even a thought. If I can do it here, then I gotta do it here,
Absolutely.
right? So maybe you look at what you're giving and then you would increase it.
Yep.
And then the ask would be, would you then do that on an automated basis in whatever way that makes sense? Right. Push pay, when you give online, for us, that's push pay. A bank draft, you may have a donor advised fund. So that's the thing. And then also what that serves as a practice.
Yes.
As you are saying, hey, this is not mine.
Yep.
This is me being a good steward.
Yeah.
So real quick, I want to mention this, because we mentioned the tithe. You mentioned the tithe being 10%. Yep. Realities in the Old Testament, there were multiple tithes.
Yes.
And so, and then the thought is, in the New Testament, the standard really went up, right?
Yep.
And so the frame was like, hey, what we're really asking is, what's sacrificial look like for you? So for me, praise the Lord, I could let go of a 20 without even thinking about it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's
I'm notorious for this. I got a jewel Oscar by my house. If there's somebody there asking for money, be it Girl Scouts, be it the Lions Club, be it the Viet, whatever it is, if I got cash, it could be a 20. It's gone.
That's good.
But that's not sacrificial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to think about that.
That's good.
If that's what your giving's like towards in the church, then maybe that's not sacrificial, right? And let this be a practice that you can institute so you can constantly say, I am a steward. I am not the owner.
Yeah.
Last thing, and you can share your thoughts with this too.
Yeah.
Stewardship.
Go ahead.
I may be in a position, understand this, I may be in a position to where I can't give as much as I want because I haven't been a good steward.
That's good.
Right? And so then maybe your giving challenges could be because in the past you haven't stewarded things in the way that you should, right? What would you say about getting, 2 questions.
Go ahead.
I want you to share your own stewardship journey. And then what would you say about the importance of maybe I haven't been a good steward in the past. Let me realign. You know what I mean? And people seeing rightly, people seeing things from the right perspective, and not just saying I ain't got enough money. But no. Let's look at why you don't have enough money. What would you say about that?
Yeah. I think for me personally, just based off of just my life. So I never really had anyone to teach me how to manage my money or my time wisely. I was definitely, I feel thrown into what it looks like to balance, my finances and just, my time in a way that, would be deemed worthy by the Lord. Just because it was never a topic at home. And what I was realizing early on, so I'm going to expose myself here just a little bit.
It's a safe place.
It's a safe place. So, when I was younger, I used to work at Chick-fil-A. Okay. My
pleasure.
So I increased from a team member
to
then a manager and then to a supervisor within 2 month spans. So it was 2 months, I was a team member. 2 months after that, I became a manager. 2 months after that, I was a supervisor. I was only 17. I was 17 making a really decent check. What am I to do with that kind of money? Had no idea. So what did I do? I put it into savings because I knew that was the best place to go. And then at my local church, I would tithe. And then I stopped working at Chick-fil-A. And I looked at my savings, and I was in between jobs. And what I had saved disappeared exponentially within 2 months. Why did that happen? Because, and I talked about this in the sermon, I once valued it, and then it lost its value to me personally. And so for me in my stewardship journey, what I've learned is it's more correlated to my heart posture consistently. It's not just directly correlated to, I have this right now, I can give this right now, or I'm doing this right now that can serve other people, so I'm gonna do it right now, right? But it's in the moments of my uncomfortability that it's more challenged, right? Isaias, you don't have it right now. Are you still going to give it? Whether it be, your money, or whether it be your time, whether it be your resource, your talent, right? Are you going to give it when you still don't have it? And that was a challenge for me that I've had to process. And now, I'm a father, right? I'm a husband. There are greater stakes to the decisions I make. And I have to be careful what I say yes to and how I say yes to it, right? So giving my resources, my talent, so to speak, right? I have to be wary about the things that I say yes to. Is this going to, Lord, help your kingdom grow? Or is this more suiting for me? Right? These are the questions I have to ask myself. Lord, is my time given here more beneficial, or should I give it over here because this is going to serve your people? Mm-hmm. I have to ask these questions financially. Lord, there is this homeless person knocking on my window. Mm-hmm. I'm tight with bills right now. I don't feel like giving money. Mm-hmm. I still feel compelled to. Mm-hmm. Lord, are you asking me to give this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Are you asking me to use this money, this cash that's in my pocket? Cash. So there's a weird thing in my household where my wife will say, well, cash, it doesn't really count, right? Because it's paper, right? We take more care into our electronic, mm-hmm. Finances. And so she's always like, well, cash doesn't matter. But it does. Everything that we do, right? Everything that I give to has a purpose. Mm-hmm. And it can either be self-serving or it can be based off of what the Lord wants me mm-hmm. to serve to, right? Yep. And so for me, and this is not a knock on my wife because I act the same way mm-hmm. with anything that I receive. Just recently I received something in my bank account and I said, well, it's in my bank account, so technically it's mine. Mm-hmm. And she had to correct me. She said, what did you just say this past Sunday? I said, mm-hmm. Yikes. Woo-wee. So
that's called sanctification.
So for me, it was like, well, dang.
That's called accountability. That's the importance of community, relationship.
But here is the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Because this was brought up, I'm left challenged and I'm left to make a choice on whether or not I want to grow. And as it relates to the church and us stewarding what we have to the church, it is not about how much you give. It's about your posture in mm-hmm. which you're giving. Mm-hmm. Do you believe this is the Lord's?
Yep.
Because we can talk about it from Mark's standpoint. Mm-hmm. There was a story about a woman who only had a cent, right? And Jesus was speaking to the disciples saying, look how all of these others who don't worry about what they're given are given out of an abundance. And then he said, but take a look at this woman. Mm-hmm. She's giving everything she's had to live on.
Yep.
And he's looking at her and he's highlighting her in the midst of rooms where there are plenty of people giving surplus. Mm-hmm. Why is that important? Well, I believe it's because the Lord was trying to help us identify. I'm more concerned about who you say I am in your life, so our relationship with him, and also what you believe I'm telling you and ushering you to do. If your relationship with me, right, is strong and it's rooted in just this salvation and this belief that I'm going to continue to grow and provide for you, then the reality is you're going to ask what I would want you to do with this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take that into account.
Yeah.
So that has been my journey, and what I've seen and experienced in my life is anytime I do those things, when I ask those questions, Lord, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I do it, there's never been a moment where he hasn't come through.
I love that.
It's never been a moment.
Yeah. That's your testimony.
That's my testimony.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
You mentioned heart posture.
Yes.
You mentioned giving when seemingly you don't have it to give.
Yeah.
Glad you mentioned that because that's where we're going the next couple of weeks.
Uh-oh.
So heart posture. Uh-huh. So we're gonna take a break. I got to talk about Beyond Colorblind. I'm gonna preach about Beyond Colorblind.
Okay.
And then coming after that, we're gonna talk about heart posture.
Yeah.
Then coming out of that, we're gonna talk about sacrificial giving. Mm-hmm. So great segue, man of God.
Well,
appreciate that.
The Lord is upon me.
Yes, he is. But no, listen. Thank you for your faithfulness to that text. Yeah. To speak about things like stewardship, generosity. Yeah. Typically, those are topics where like you're not getting a lot of amen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not getting a lot of claps on those topics. So thank you for entering into that, wading into that, and doing it so well and being faithful. And it'll continue. So continue to stay tuned, continue to stay locked in as we continue to explore our journey to return back to the church that Jesus originally intended. Appreciate you, man of God. Wow. Thanks for being in the hot seat today. Absolutely. That's dignified. We distinguished up here. Okay. Gentlemen.
I will feel like we should have started that with a handshake.
No, fine. Man. That's like.
No, let's go ahead. I'm messing up your clothes.
I'm saying, no, you're not. It's all good. I'm saying good job. That's what
I appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. Be blessed. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you so much.